Hi, welcome to Blush Chan Fictions. Today I'll be reading Jesus and Hitler, a Romance. In the year 2025, in the halls of the Reichstag, a German soldier was running to an office. When he reached the door, he drop-kicked it open. Mein Führer, the Americans are inside Berlin. Adolf Hitler, king of Neo-Germany, looked up from his Volksge desk rapidly. Mein Gott in Himmel, I must escape. Quickly, he ran to his secret underground laboratory. Scientists were running around and conducting scientific experiments. "Active the time machine!" shouted Hitler. Hitler could hear Americans shouting in the tunnel behind him, murdering innocent German scientists and soldiers to satiate their bloodlust. "But mein Führer, the temporal coordinates are not set. You could be sent anywhere. It is irrelevant, fool. I must survive so that the National Socialism can continue." The thoroughly chastised scientists activated the time machine, and Hitler was thrown through time to 29 AD. When Hitler stepped through the portal, he saw a beautiful man with blue eyes and a long beard. "Greetings, my son," he said. Hitler looked around. "Where am I?" "In Israel, my son. Come, have lunch with me. My name is Jesus Christ." Hitler was instantly amazed. He had been a devout Christian all his life, and he was honored to eat dinner with Jesus. During lunch, Hitler explained the tenets of National Socialism to the Messiah. To his delight, Jesus loved it. Within an hour, Jesus was won over to National Socialism. Hitler felt joy in his heart. National Socialism would live again. While they were talking, Hitler found himself checking out Jesus' tight bod. If he wasn't Führer of Germany. But he wasn't Führer anymore, was he? That night, when Hitler and Jesus were in bed together, Hitler said, "Jesus, what do you think of love between men?" "What do you mean, Hitler?" Jesus asked. Hitler took a deep breath. He would have to be bold. "This is what I mean." He leaned over and started Frenching with the Lord. At the same time, he reached down and started tugging on his already turgid member. Christ slept in the buff. Jesus broke off the kiss. "Hitler, I don't know if I can do this. It feels so good, so right, but I'm afraid. I've never been with another man before." "I've never been with another man either, Jesus." "I'm scared, just like you are, but we can't let our fears rule us. I love you, Jesus. Do you love me?" Hitler's eyes had tears in them. Jesus smiled. "Yes, Hitler, I love you." They embraced. Again, they kissed passionately. Hitler continued to jerk Christ off. When he began to tense up, Hitler lowered his head to Christ's stiff member and caught Christ's sticky seed in his mouth. There was an incredible amount of it, and it splashed everywhere. When Hitler rose up again, Jesus locked lips with him. He could taste his own salty semen in Hitler's mouth, and he didn't care. Jesus was happy for the first time in his life. Chapter 2. Jesus and Hitler had been living together for almost 2 years now. They did everything together. Go shopping, shower, and have intense fuck sessions with teenage slave boys rented from the local Jewish temple. They were like an old married couple, except for one thing. They weren't married. Hitler sought to remedy that. Hitler wrestled Jesus down onto the floor one afternoon and gave the Lord the best blowjob he possibly could, complete with rimming and a stinky pinky. After our Savior blew his load and shared a salty kiss with the Führer, he felt something slide onto his softening member. Looking down, he saw it, a golden cock ring with the biggest diamond this side of the Nile. "Oh, Andy, does this mean what I think it means?" Hitler was too choked up to say anything. But he nodded. Jesus threw his arms around the Aryan hunk. "Oh, Hitler, you've made me the happiest girl in the world." He paused. "But we'll have to get my father's permission first, and he doesn't know that I'm gay. We'll have to go to heaven to talk to him." Hitler was confused, but Jesus explained his plan, and he agreed. That night, they snuck into Pontius Pilate's palace and started murdering every woman and child they could find. They stole from room to room, crushing skulls and slitting throats until a centurion found a little girl with her brains splattered on the floor and raised the alarm. The Lord and the Führer were soon caught and were taken to Golgotha to be executed. "This way," explained the Anointed One, "we won't be committing suicide." Hitler agreed that it was a good plan. Soon after they were crucified, they both died and ascended to heaven. There, they were wend to God's living room. Jesus started to introduce Hitler, but God cut him off. "I know him. He did good work for me in the future." He gave Hitler a friendly smile, which made him feel uncomfortable. Jesus spoke. "Dad, we have something to tell you. Hitler and I, well..." "Go on, son." "We're gay, and we want to get married." Jesus blurted out. "What? That's impossible. No son of mine is a homo." God raised his hand to slap Jesus, but he was crying too hard. "It's okay, Dad. Really. Me and Hitler love each other, and we want to spend the rest of our lives together. We came here today because we want your permission to marry. God sighed. Okay, son, if it'll make you happy. He leaned in to give Jesus a kiss on the forehead, but he missed and ended up making out with Jesus. They separated, but it was so hot, they were back at each other soon enough. Oh God, what am I doing? Said God. He tore off his clothes. Hitler was already nude, and Jesus slipped off his toga with a shrug. They did everything. Chain bangs, DP, effling. God even turned off gravity for even wilder positions and switched genders a few times for laughs. Jesus was a hog and tried to get his father and boyfriend to abuse him with both of their schlongs at the same time. But Hitler and God managed to share a few intimate moments. After nearly 4 hours of wild lovemaking, all three gods were exhausted. They lay in a puddle of sweat and semen. Jesus was bruised and bleeding, but his father bought a potion from a local merchant for 2 gold and healed him. After that, he sent the 2 lovebirds back to Earth to get married in a traditional Jewish ceremony. He was sad to see them go, but he knew he'd just be a third wheel. He went to his bedroom and turned on the TV and poured himself a scotch. Chapter 3. One day, Jesus was at home knitting when he heard a knock at the door. "Daddy, can I come in?" asked a soft, angelic voice. The Savior looked up at his 21-year-old adopted son. Jimothy was at the bedroom door. "Of course, my son. Please come in." He patted his lap and motioned for his son to sit there, which he did. "Daddy, I have a question. Sometimes my pee-pee gets hard, and when I touch it, I feel real good. Am I sick?" Jesus Christ chuckled. "No, honey child. You are growing up and becoming a man, just like your father and I. It is a natural impulse for you to feel that when you think about girls." "But, Daddy, it happens when I think about boys like Zachariah, Zebediah, and you, and Daddy Andy." Oh my. Jesus was shocked, but he was also feeling something else too, something in his robes. "Daddy, what's touching me?" Jesus suddenly realized that he was fully erect. "Jimothy, I had no idea that you were homosexual, but now that you know, I think it's time for me to teach you about making love." He pushed his son to the floor, his 5-inch penis jutting from his robes. "Now, I want you to..." But he stopped, because his son had already inhaled it and was giving a blowjob almost as good as his other dad's. Oh, Jimothy," Jesus shouted as he blasted his semen into his baby boy's mouth. Before his son could spit his daddy's gift out, Jesus hauled him to his feet and shared a deep tongue kiss with him. When they went to go wash together in the tub, they saw an imposing figure standing in the doorway. "Hitler!" gasped Jesus. The 6'5" figure in the doorframe trembled with the titanic rage that is so characteristic of his race. "Jimothy, go to your room." "But..." "I said go!" The boy scrambled to his bedroom, still dazed from his experience. "Hitler, I'm so sorry." Both men were crying now. "Why?" begged Hitler. Jesus couldn't look his husband in the eye. "Addie, when I was a boy, Joseph did the same thing to me." Jesus sobbed. "That's how I was turned gay." At first, Hitler froze, not knowing what to say to this revelation. He could see how vulnerable the Lord was at this very moment, though, so he said, "Come here, kiddo," and gave him a hug. "Don't worry, we'll get through this together." He smooched Christ. "I love you, Jesus. I'll always love you, no matter what. Jimothy? Jimothy, come here." Jimothy came into the room and they all exchanged chaste hugs and kisses, then went out for ice cream. Thanks for listening to Blessed Chan Fictions. Tune in next time for the second half of Jesus and Hitler, a Romance. See you there!